You'll have to excuse me for the poor camera angles and not having anything other than my phone. It's been a minute since I've done any sort of posts, and that's, well, because of my mental health. So I've been through, well, a lot in the last 5 years of my life. Kind of hard to know where to start, but especially the last year. Now I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown. I moved in with someone who I thought was a friend and her boyfriend. She has a lot of mental health issues, which of course I am very empathetic to, not just sympathetic, but empathetic. And she chose not to get help, though, even after I took her to appointments and got her on medications, went and picked up the medications. Anywho, she just was not going to change. So her and her boyfriend broke up. Him and I got together. Okay, yeah, you can bash me all you want. It was kind of shitty in the girl code world, but realistically, they were broken up when him and I got together. So I didn't do anything actually wrong. And her and I were friends, and I still wanted to be her friend after that. I just didn't want to live with her. But it turned out she was a pathological liar, literally lied about every small detail about her life, and her parents ended up, well, her mother ended up telling us about it. And everyone else who she included in on the lies ended up telling the truth about everything, which we found proof of. So anywho, after that happened, we had to, meaning me and my boyfriend at the time, had to call the cops on her 6 times within a week. And long story short, we got a restraining order against her, and then we ended up getting married later that year. And quite frankly, I've never been happier, aside from the fact that she continues to find ways around the restraining order by contacting our family because they're not included on it. But it's random family members, and it's not always the same one. Therefore, the family won't go and get a restraining order against her for harassment, and they kind of can't because she's only reached out to each of them like one time. But it's trying to get to us. And now my husband, he can handle it. He just gets irritated and then kind of lets it go, you know, like a man. It's not worth getting upset over. But me, it's really taking a toll on me. And I don't care if she sees this video. If you see it, don't think that you're getting to me like that, honey. It's not that you upset me that bad. It's the fact that I'm tired of dealing with it, and I am tired of her not taking a hint. And still, it being a year later, trying to get her to leave us alone. She is that obsessed and has that many problems. She still has pictures of my animals on her Facebook, showing them, like, making it look like they're hers, and my husband, which they're not. I mean, people don't always go back and delete photos off Facebook. That's not a huge deal, but she's the type of person who would, and updates everything, like, as soon as something changes. She's doing it on purpose. And while I can see that it's sad because she needs help, if she's going to continue to do that, it just shows the state of her mental health. It's also very annoying being the one that this is directed at, and like we can't get away from her. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look at the camera and yet I'm looking at my face on the screen, so I keep going back and forth. I'm trying to get better. Anywho, my mental health during this. Let's see, I got married, which was wonderful. He has been a great support system. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better husband. He's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We both make mistakes. But he's my soulmate. And when I found him, that's why I asked him to marry me. Yes, I asked him. He says he was going to, but he wasn't as straightforward as me, because I knew what I wanted. And I've been waiting on it for a long time, and I've never even felt like there was anyone else I wanted to marry that I've ever been with. And I went to school with him, so even though we weren't exactly friends in school, I did know him, and I knew he was a genuine person. And so when we moved in together, even though we weren't dating at that time, he quickly became my best friend. And then when we started dating, it really didn't change the relationship any, besides now it was physical, because he was already my best friend. And I stick by that to this day. He is my best friend. I tell him literally everything. There is nothing that anyone in the world could go and tell him and he would be surprised about. There's nothing that he would be surprised about. So if you think you're going to unveil something or that you have dirt on me, go ahead. By all means, I'm not even upset. The only thing I'm upset about is that you think you're getting somewhere and why you want to get somewhere. You go ahead and tell him. You can tell him anything. He knows entirely about my past. I was with a married man. He knows all about that. He knows the things that we did to hide from his wife. He also knows that in the end, I feel a deep sense of remorse about it towards her. Even though he's the one who made the commitment and it was his fault too, I do take my part of the blame, and I do feel deep sorrow for it, because no matter how you feel about someone, I just feel you should never treat anyone like that. I should have been treating her how I wanted to be treated, and I would hope no one would ever try to do that with my husband. I trust him explicitly and know he would never do that to me. But that doesn't mean